On today's show, the power of inspired questions, part 3 of this week's series on business planning with millennial marketer David Specht, CFP. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to the show, day 3.
Thanks.
David, I'm kind of, I loved yesterday's show, the Business Whisperer. I love that. Today I want to talk about this thing because you are really into this as a major, I can't believe you, not only did you invent this and create it, but it is really powerful, and I see other advisors now kind of using this thing called the power of an inspired question. Let's give a good example of this so that we can role play this out in front of our advisors today, because I think this could be a way in, especially for young millennial marketers that are in our business and want to enter into the business family market.
Sure. So one of my favorite questions is, what is the greatest non-financial outcome you hope to achieve in your estate plan? Non-financial outcome.
Well, do they have a pregnant pause?
Yeah, it's tough. They haven't thought about it. But what I'm looking for is, are they looking to create harmony with this plan between their next generation? What are they looking to do? Because as a financial advisor, they're only expecting us to help them financially. But when we ask them those questions, it means that we care about them, not just that we care about what we can sell to them.
So if I was going to answer that, I would like to say I would like to leave a legacy to my kids. Beyond just money, I would like to leave a legacy of my belief system.
Exactly.
My volunteer work, my way of dealing with, I'd like them to carry on the mores that I picked up.
Perfect. And that's what we're looking for with those questions is to get past the superficial questions and to allow someone to become vulnerable.
Do you see clients okay with this kind of Q&A?
They want it.
I'm so surprised. I think they read you as the financial advisor. They're sitting down, they're thinking it's all going to be about math, making things work, defeating taxes, giving me the most retirement money, making the succession plan work. You're saying no, they really want to talk about personal items, personal issues.
There's nothing more personal than someone's money. And then you look at their family. I mean, if you can talk to them about their family and their money, you automatically become the most trusted advisor. They don't want to tell this story multiple times. You ask them these questions and they become vulnerable to you and you provide a solution, they're not going anywhere else. It's great for creating that relationship.
Well, I think we have this completely backwards. If what you're saying is true, I mean, we're coming in, handing our business cards out, and then opening up this huge book of experience based on solutions. And you're saying there's a lot of issues here. The family dynamics are everything. And I'd like to ask, I'd love that question. Give me another one of your inspired power questions.
Well, one of the other questions that's my favorite is, what does it mean to be a Specht? What does it mean to be a insert your last name? There's always a pause for that one. And
so if you say a person's surname,
yep.
What does it mean to be a savant?
What does it mean to be a savant?
And then I have to answer that.
Yep. And then the next thing I do is encourage them to ask their kids that same question, and that is enlightening to them. And they'll almost always email me or call me and say, thank you. I never knew what my kids thought it meant to be a whatever our last name is.
How powerful it is to get to people to talk about these personal issues, because again, remember, as you even said, man, I wish I had a psychology degree to augment my financial degree. How important is this for especially young millennials coming into our practice? They're just beginning, and they don't. But their relationship is with the business owner's children, because they're the same age as you pointed out in the first show.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, to figure out, first of all, who you're marketing to. I see myself as marketing to the family, not necessarily just to the business owner. One of the most powerful people to market to is the spouse, because the spouse, the wife, I'll just say the wife, is usually the most in tune with this intersection of how is the family affected by what we're doing with our business. So with each advisor, it's different. Young guys, you can go after that next generation and learn what are the challenges with them coming back to the family business, and then become a resource, become a listening ear, and then you can bridge to the business owner.
You were talking about playing to the non-participating spouse. Many times it's the wife. How important is it to get her to unearth what's in her heart so you can get a good vision of where that intersection occurs?
It's huge. If you can get to the wife, we'll just use the wife for instance. and she's willing to express what her real desires are, and you can frame that and then create a solution, she's going to be the advocate and the nudger, the loving thumb in the back to the person that's running the business that gets too busy to actually do the things that we advise them to do. They're an inside person for us to be able to get that process going and to keep
Is that
it
one of your
moving.
first contact issues, is to get to that issue immediately?
Yeah, I want to first of all define who the client is quickly. I tell the business owner, if you are hiring me to just advocate on your behalf or to just plan for you, I'm not your guy. If you want me to advise the family as a whole, then that's how I work.
We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Back in the day, life insurance professionals were called field underwriters. Then, carriers trained their field force in the basics of life insurance underwriting. Today, the insurance industry doesn't educate the agent population as they once did. But now you can have the Informed Risk Guide at your fingertips so you can illustrate a reasonable rate class for your life insurance prospects. Just request your copy of the Informed Risk Guide at downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. It's free from Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back, David. We're talking about, and I like this, we're talking about engaging non-participation people, maybe the spouse isn't involved, maybe the children. Does the non-participating spouse, she seems to want fairness, even though the other children are not in the business, have maybe never been in the business, showed no future desire to be in the business. Does she want, because remember, businesses seem to be, to me, help me if I'm wrong, they're a major portion of the estate.
Yeah.
And so the other children who are participating, maybe they'll feel shorted, and maybe mom wants to make sure that doesn't occur.
Yeah. Usually, mom's biggest interest is keeping harmony and keeping good relationships between siblings, and to help her understand that sharing something is not always the best is really important. Shared ownership is the toughest thing we could ever ask anyone to do. Even if you grow up in the same house, you think about sharing a car with your brother. You have different standards of cleanliness.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you will fill the gas tank, others will leave it empty. And this concept of shared ownership is something we have to tackle early. And the wives understand it usually pretty quickly, but it's something you can't hide from it. You have to just go right to it.
Well, I noticed that in your inspired questions, you seem to have them blocked out in categories such as questions for family businesses, questions for farmers, questions for married couples, questions for, I love this one, engaged couples. I mean, this is engaged couples. I mean, we haven't even married yet, and you're trying to do proactive and preventative maintenance here?
Yeah. So Inspired Questions for Family and Money was the first mobile app that was developed. And these are all subsequent that are happening right now. Inspired Questions for Family Business, Inspired Questions for Farmers. These are being built right now as we speak.
So you built one for family business. It's an actual mobile app that's out there right now?
It's coming. It's coming in the next weeks. But the Inspired Questions for Family and Money, kind of the intersection between family and money, that is live on the App Store.
So how does that work, and how does that really help your practice? And especially if I'm a young guy, I love mobile apps. If I'm your age, and I'm saying, hey, I know all about the internet, the devices that are out there. How would that help me get in front of people?
So I feel like there's a void in the advisor community for good gifts. And if I can give a gift of an app to a family that I care about and that I want to work with, and that allows them to have an experience that they otherwise wouldn't have, they're going to remember me. And so when we look at these different apps, Inspired Questions for Engaged Couples. If you're a financial advisor, you find out someone gets engaged, you send them something that will help them to be successful in their marriage, they're going to remember you. Those aren't always, you're not sending it out for an immediate, sale or something like that, but you want to become memorable. You want to provide value before you ask for value from someone, and that's really the approach with all these apps.
I love that the application, everything's going mobile. Are you going to have one for each one of these? Married couples, engaged couples, farmers, businesses?
Yes, there will be mobile apps for all those.
Now, in advisors, will that be something that'll be for sale then from your website or?
Yeah, so right now you can get it on the App Store. In the future, what I envision is that advisors will be able to have their own mobile app suite where we can reskin the front so that it actually is the advisor. So they can, whenever they give it out, it's drawing traffic back to them specifically and not just me. What's out right now is for the general public.
Now, why did you go to this app technology? Why is this a big thing? And are the baby boomers that own the businesses going to use this, or again, is this more the millennials?
Right now, anyone with an iPhone or an iPad, they can use it, and it's really simple. That was the key. Is it's simple, and there's different features on there where you can share questions on all social media, Facebook, Twitter. You can message it, so you can ask a question to your family as a whole, even when the family's not around. Get their feedback on how those things work, and so it's being used in lots of different ways.
And but the big issue is it's really being used.
It's being used.
See, this is what we're gathering intel off an app that tells me the family dynamics and can give me a kind of a proactive predisposition to what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, the app itself right now is if you do a video recording of what you believe or however you answer the question, that actually just lives on the phone. In the advisor version, we do foresee that the advisor will be able to see all of those things too. But it's being used as a facilitation tool for financial advisors preparing for a meeting. They'll use the app, pick their favorite 5 questions, be able to use that in a family meeting or with a business owner, be able to record that or not if they want to, but it's being used in lots of different ways.
And you invented this because why did you see this as such a need?
Yeah, so I came up with it because I would come up with my favorite questions, write them down. They were on 3x5 cards in a recipe box. Then it went to professionally designed cards. And then I'd found out advisors didn't want to carry a deck of cards around. And if it could live on their phone and it was easy, then it was a great way to distribute the product.
I think there's a huge application of what you're doing and bringing it to now smartphone device and then being able to gather that kind of intel. Well, that's our show for today. Remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas you hear on our show, always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, or your broker-dealer compliance department. And don't forget, you can view all our past episodes on downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. And remember, you could be wiser as an Ash Brokerage advisor.